You gonna pull it up on your phone?
Yeah, I'm working on it. My phone's kind of slow. I don't know what's wrong with my phone. It's so slow. Figure it out.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2, 3.
Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2, 3.
Ready, Mr. Swallow?
Let's do it, sir.
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, to Week 10 edition of the Recap Show. Welcome aboard to late night edition of High School Football Talk with myself and Mr. Gary Swallow. We are live from Gary Swallow's Taekwondo Martial Arts building here in Opelousas, Louisiana. Not long got back from Kaplan, Louisiana, where we saw a dandy
Wow.
of a matchup that we're going to be talking about for weeks to come. Avoided the weather, Mr. Swallow, but I heard it had weather that impacted some games around the state.
Right.
We got a lot to talk about. It's the late night edition. Welcome to Saturday.
Welcome to Week 10 Hello Playoffs.
Close the door on Week 10, ladies and gentlemen. Brackets will come out Sunday, and the next phase of football season is finally underway. Playoffs are here, and I am ready for it.
I'm excited. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When they came out with the new format for the playoffs, we were kind of discussing this, but boy, is it panning out. It's going to be great.
There is a major shakeup in a lot of divisions tonight. A lot of teams lost tonight that weren't supposed to lose tonight, Mr. Swallow.
You right.
A lot of teams took care of business and set up first round buys. A lot of teams that were on the bubble took care of business or might have put themselves out of playoff contention. There's a lot that went into Week 10, and we have a lot of district champions crowned across the state of Louisiana tonight. Gary Swallow, also senior night, a lot across the state of Louisiana. A heartfelt moment as we were packing up our gear, watching
Right.
those seniors come back to the 50-yard line for Kaplan
Right.
and just sit there and soak in the moment of all the downs and games they played on that field.
When you saw that, it made you realize what high school sports is all about, and the fact that you have seniors that may not play at the next level, that are actually were soaking it in and looking around and just loving the moment.
Right, win or lose.
Yeah.
Went back to the 50 for one more time. You never know what's going to happen in the playoffs. But what a moment for those seniors.
Right. It was very special, and I thought it was a very touching moment at that time. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Russo Trophy stays in Abbeville for another year. We got some rushing records that were broke tonight. How about Ford right here in Opelousas, Louisiana? The Tigers running back, true sophomore, breaks the single game rushing record tonight for OHS.
Right, and that was amazing, to see a young man that just, put forth the effort and actually bought into their philosophy of their game. And, OHS surprised everyone this year, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today too. But man, I'm so excited about the Opelousas High School Tigers. And I'm also excited about those Vikings.
Yeah,
Those
sure.
Vikings are doing pretty good. So the city of Opelousas is well represented, as far as coming up. And we're gonna talk a little bit of something too when we get to the game about our alma mater. We got to talk about them for a little bit.
Yeah, the streak is over
done.
tonight. Get that monkey off your back. Red Devils end the season with a big win.
Wow, congratulations to the Red Devils. My heart is just full right now. I'm so excited for them. Can't say anything but, congratulations, and wow. Look, that might be the stepping stone for the future on that. So great, win.
Gary, did you actually think on senior night that Trey Holly was going to go down like that?
Right.
Mr. Trey Holly on senior night went off against the undefeated Carroll football team for 230 and 3 touchdowns.
Right. He just said, okay, I'm going to flick the switch, and then he just kept on. And he keeps adding to his record.
He went on go mode tonight. You knew the young man didn't want to play his senior night and not go out with a bang.
And I got to tell you, he did, Jordy. He did. Man, that was just amazing.
How about Ruston ending a 33-game losing streak that dated back all the way to 1990 against West Monroe? I bet that one feels good.
That one I thought was going to be a nail biter, and actually Ruston, won by a little bit more than what I thought. But that has to be, like you say, get the monkey off of your back. Well, West Monroe was always big brother up there, and
right.
Little brother kind of went in there and said, "Hey, I'm here," and they took care of business.
Correct. Once the playoffs come out Sunday, your 8 divisions this season for public school Division 1 through Division 4, top 4 seeds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 will receive first round byes. They'll get healthy. They won't play again until round 2. For the private school side, for Division 1 through Division 4, you got to keep in perspective that that's different from the public side.
Right.
1 through 8 will receive first round byes. So keep that in mind when the brackets come out Sunday. Your favorites might not even be playing next week, so
Right.
keep a close eye on where your favorites fall in the brackets.
We're going to have a bracket show Sunday to let everybody know where their favorite teams are going to be.
Correct. We'll find out where our locals are. We'll see who our number 1 seeds are. We're going to see who received first round byes. And we're going to pick our semifinal and state championship game picks. I'm very excited for Sunday afternoon for our bracket release show. So, as we head into week 10, Mr. Swallow, initial thoughts before we get into some of these games.
Man, all I can say is wow. A lot of exciting games, a lot of unexpected outcomes, a lot of expected outcomes, but not by the margin of victory or whatever. Some upsets. So we had it all this week, and we watched a great game tonight, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But all I can say is just wow.
Yeah.
Week 10, we're already in the playoffs. It seems like we only a week or so ago we just started with week 1. and now we're at week 10.
It flies by, my friend.
Right, it does, especially when you're having fun.
Seniors, if you played your last down of high school football tonight, I hope you enjoyed every moment of your journey with those shoulder pads and that helmet on with your brothers and your coaches. Hope you enjoyed every moment of it. Have no regrets.
Always remember, win, lose, draw, whatever, just be proud that you were a part of that fraternity, that brotherhood, that high school football group, because that is what makes things happen in your life. I mean, that's where you develop relationships. You develop bonds between your teammates. And, you know, like I said, it's a special moment that will live with you forever.
Correct. All right, let's jump into some of these scores from around the state of Louisiana. We get kicked off with Thursday night football.
Right.
Elton looking to go 500 on the season. A big win on senior night would push their record to 5-5. They welcome in Hamilton Christian. And it looks like they had 0 problems on Thursday night. Elton Indians roll into the playoffs with a 57-16 win. Congratulations to that program. They turned it around.
Man, they've turned that program completely around this year, and I'm so proud of that, seeing them come from where they were, because actually they were struggling for years, and they come out and they did this. Congratulations to Elton.
Next up, Grand Lake looking to make it an 8-2 season. But before they could get that signature 8th win, they had to go down to DeQuincy. And DeQuincy gives them a scare, but the effort not enough to dethrone Grand Lake on Thursday night. Grand Lake gets the road win and picks up their 8th win of the season. Grand Lake should host a playoff game next Friday night. So we will see where Grand Lake falls in the playoffs come Sunday. Final score, Grand Lake 34, DeQuincy 22.
Right.
Next up, Lake Charles College Prep and Kinder covered this game.
You're right, that's where you were at.
Kinder backs against the wall and must-win situation when they flirting with the playoff spot. Lake Charles College Prep played a decent, tough schedule leading up to this point, and they knew coming into this one they needed a better seed than where they were.
Right.
So that was an important game for both sides. Lake Charles College Prep, if I told you they only threw the ball like 6 times in the game compared to what we're used to, we think they're going to air it out and just sling the ball 50 times a game. But Gary, they dominated the trenches. They had a tailback, number 12, that just had a sensational night over there at John C. Buck Stadium. Hats off to that Lake Charles College Prep football team. Big time road win, 26-7 over the Kinder Yellow Jackets. Kinder shot themselves in the foot a couple times. They got inside the 5 and fumbled. They got inside the 20, turnover them down. So they left about 14 points off the board last night.
I watched the game after I finished, and I got a chance to watch the ending of the game, and I was surprised. You know, it was a game where there were opportunities missed for Kinder.
Correct.
And Lake Charles College Prep, like I said, I was expecting them to see the ball flying, and they were just pounding. So I was shocked watching it from here. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you know, Lake Charles College Prep is gonna
give
scare
somebody
somebody.
a scare in that first round for
That's
sure.
right.
Northside head down to Westgate. Can the defending state champs get a big win going into the playoffs and to avoid a 4-game losing streak? They were on a 3-game skid for a little bit, Gary.
They were. That surprised me. I thought Westgate was going to just
But you got to
be
look at
ready to
their
repeat.
district.
You're right.
Their 3 losses: LCA, Turlings, St. Thomas More, all quality losses. They're battle tested going into the playoffs. Can they go defend their title?
It's possible.
It's going to be harder this year. They moved up in classification.
Correct.
So we will see. For tonight, Westgate takes down Northside and gets their 7th win of the season, 42-31. to 12. That was back on Thursday night.
Correct. Yes.
St. Louis and Jennings, ladies and gentlemen, what a career for the Jennings head football coach. Might have been his last one, Gary.
Yeah, that's the only thing that whenever we talked about this for the pick show, that was the thing that hit me the hardest, is that this may be his last game, coaching Jennings, and that's a great career, but like you said, all good things must end sometimes, and I hope he has a good retirement, and I hope he enjoys the pride that it takes, because he touched a lot of people's lives. So, congratulations to that.
St. Louis gets back on track in Week 10. The Saints go on the road and knock off the Jennings Bulldogs. Final score, 31-21. St. Louis, ladies and gentlemen, heading into the playoffs with an 8-2 record.
Right.
Sam Houston Southside, ladies and gentlemen, this game was tied at 21 somewhere in the fourth quarter, and then the Sharks woke up, Gary,
They smell blood in the water.
and they took off and never looked back. This was 21-21. The score ended 42-21.
Right.
So that's 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
I'm gonna tell you, this Southside team is going to make a run, and they're gonna basically. People better not take this team lightly. They got a good shot to going to the quarters, semis, and maybe even the finals.
You can never tell.
That's right.
But congratulations on an outstanding season from the Southside Sharks, 9-1,
Correct.
district champs,
You're
going
right.
into the playoffs. St. Ed's, Opelousas Catholic, meeting up on Thursday night from Donald Gardner Stadium. Opelousas Catholic played one of the tougher non-district schedules leading up to district play, and all that did was have them run right through their district.
Correct. Yeah.
Nobody has been close, and they have dominated their district play on their way to a district championship and a 7-3 record as they go into the playoffs, and with a big time 60-21 senior night win for that Viking football team.
Tell you what, they've been impressive. When we watched them run through their district as if it was nothing. I mean, the district games that they've played, they've pretty much dominated from the get-go. And OC is going to be another scary team to see in the playoffs.
Yes, indeed, my friend. Cedar Creek, St. Frederick's. Good old defensive showdown here. Both teams that really like to play physical brand of football. This one was not what was expected, Gary.
Right.
Points were scored in this one, and St. Frederick's gets a big time win over Cedar Creek, 35-20.
This game was hard for me to pick because I didn't really know that much about them, but from what I'm gathering, St. Fred's rose to the occasion, and they defended their home turf, and they said, "You're not going to beat us on our field," and good job.
Yep. Cecilia, Iowa, good old matchup here, 7-2 versus 8-1. Yellow Jackets coming off of a district championship a week prior. Could they rally the troops and get those seniors a big time win before they get into the playoffs? Yes, they could.
Yes, they
Iowa,
did.
with their talented football team and hellified running back,
You're right.
gets a close, low-scoring win, 17-7. So hats off to the kicker there,
Right.
getting 3 points.
You're right. Most definitely. Good, solid, tight-knit, good defensive ball game. Special team.
Special teams. Warren Easton and McDonald 35 also met on Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen. This game was close in the fourth quarter.
Wasn't McDonough ahead at one time?
Yes, they were.
All right.
And the next thing you know, Warren Easton, they hit that switch, and they came out and finished the game strong.
Right.
Final score, Warren Easton 59, McDonald 35-38. Warren Easton should go into the playoffs ranked number 1.
I would say so. I think that I don't see anybody that should be ahead of them right now.
Next up, Catholic of Baton Rouge versus Zachary. This had state championship game written all over it. Just a game that you want to see in the dome.
Right.
Catholic of BR went down to Zachary. We talked about Catholic of BR's only loss this season coming from a team out of Maryland. Catholic BR had to go to Bronco Stadium in order to knock off Zachary, and it came down to a last-second field goal. Catholic of BR Bears on the road over Zachary, 24-21, with a game-winning field goal.
That tells me a lot because I know the tradition that Zachary has, and I know the tradition that Catholic of Baton Rouge has. This had, like you said, this had championship game, a championship game feeling all over it. It's amazing. And I'm so happy that these coaches are actually scheduling these games, even though this is a district game. But I mean, I'm talking all in general, where you're seeing more games being played like this. It's unbelievable. But like I said, Catholic of Baton Rouge went into Zachary and they took the district.
Not an easy place to go in and
You're
get a
right.
win.
But like I said, it's just you're seeing these matchups so good. So it's unbelievable.
Friday Night Football, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of teams searching for their first win of the season. Who's going to send out their seniors happy? 0-8 Port Barry at 0-9 Pine Prairie tonight. The Red Devils go on the road and shut out the Panthers. Big time win, and congratulations to the Port Barry Red Devils, Gary Swallow.
Man, my heart is full right now, dude. We were discussing on this. We were talking about the team and all that and what they needed to do, and hopefully they were going to be able to get on track. This is a big win for the seniors. They're going out on top. They're going out with a victory after an over, beginning of the season. But these seniors are going to go out with a win. And can it get the fire started for all those underclassmen to where they can get it? Man, it takes a spark.
All it takes is a little taste
That's
of
it.
winning.
And I'm proud to say that the Red Devils, they ended the streak.
Yes.
They're no longer, the team that has the longest losing streak in the state. Guess what? They don't have that anymore. And I'm very happy for my alma mater, and I'm very happy for the coaching staff and everybody over there, and the seniors.
Yes, enjoy the victory, ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen. If you're watching from Port Barry tonight, if you're a coach over there, if you're a senior or just a player, enjoy that win for sure.
Most definitely.
Catholic New Iberia, no trouble tonight with West St. Mary. They shut out the Wolfpack, 51-0. Catholic New Iberia, one of those teams that could throw a wrench, but we don't know which New Iberia team's going to show up.
That's right. That's the thing. Tell me which side of the bed you get up on, whether it's this side or that side. But good game for them tonight.
Sulphur Tours get a big-time senior night win, 37-12 over Como. Como goes 0-10, Gary. Not familiar territory with
Right.
Como.
Yeah, Como's rebuilding completely this year, but they restructured everything as far as the zoning and everything in the Lafayette area, Lafayette Parish. So that had a lot to do with that, and I think they're gonna come back strong.
Arroyo's Mustangs, ladies and gentlemen, hangs 88 on Pickering tonight. 88-6 was your final score. Mustangs going into playoffs. Not a team you want to match up with because of how difficult they can be to defend. And if they're getting those onside kicks in the playoffs,
Look out.
look out for the Mustangs moving forward. Big time win tonight, 88-6 over Pickering. We're going to see if the Mustangs can get back to that semifinal game like they were last year.
Yes, that's gonna be that's gonna be the $1 million question. Can they get up to that level again?
How about another 88 piece tonight? Opelousas High on senior night. Fireworks went crazy at the stadium, celebrating an outright district championship and celebrating a senior class that has turned this program around.
Very, very big night for Opelousas High School, and all you can say is great job to the coaching staff, to the seniors, to all the players, because they're still fairly a young team.
Correct.
And man, the future is bright for Opelousas High School Tigers.
They're going to be good
Yes.
for many years to
Yes.
come. But you look at the game, Gary, this one got out of hand early.
Yes.
OHS rolled, and they rolled all night long to a senior night victory. Final score, Tigers 88, Gators 7. OHS will be off next week.
Should be. Yes.
Where will they be? Will they be 1? Will they be 2? They're going to have a first round bye, and the road to the Dome's going to come through Donald Gardner Stadium.
I have a good feeling. You're right, Jordy. I think OHS well deserved. All I can say is that, guys, keep striving. You're not there yet. You're just in the playoffs, but you want to get to that big, big game up there. So keep working.
Take it one game at a
That's
time,
it.
moving forward. Get healthy in the bye week.
Right.
And, hey, the rest of the way, it's balls to the wall.
Right. We may well be filming right here a couple times during the playoff season. You never tell.
You can't never tell, my friend. Next up, St. Martinville. They're district champs from a few weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
They had a home senior night tonight against Crowley, and they would have no problem. St. Martinville, they're going to give somebody problems in the playoffs.
Yep.
They got a really, really talented football team led by a great running back and a passing game that can give defenses fits.
Right.
So keep St. Martinville in your radar. 42-16 winners over the Crowley Jets tonight. Eunice Bobcats trying to lock up a district championship tonight. They needed some help. They needed Leesville to take care of business over Rain. Boy, I bet when the game was over and they heard Leesville won that football game,
Mm-hmm.
the celebration would begin because Eunice took care of their part by knocking off LaGrange 46-22. Eunice Bobcats is your district champs.
You're right. That had to be. Well, I'm so excited for Eunice. They really struggled at times this year, and for them to put it all together whenever they needed to and come back out with a victory like that, I think it's awesome.
Gary, do you have a Catholic Appointed P in Westminster score?
No, I did not, but I don't have that. Let's see.
Okay, I'll move on to the next game until you find it. How about a big night at Bulldog Stadium down there in Ville Platte, Louisiana? Ville Platte welcome in Oberlin for senior night, and the Bulldogs go on and upset Oberlin tonight. Huge win for the Bulldogs. They get their 3rd win of the season, and they knock off a previous 7-2 Oberlin football team, 20-8. Congratulations to the Ville Platte Bulldogs for a huge win going into the offseason. Final score, Nish knocks off Lafayette tonight, 35-31. Nish, they ended the season playing really good football. Should be really good signs going into the 2023 season if they can get things rolling the way they finish the season.
It's not showing, Jordan.
Sacred Heart trying to make it a 7-3 season. They welcome in North Central tonight for senior night, and Sacred Heart Trojans would have no problems. 47-14 victory. Trojans heading into the playoffs with a big-time home win. That final score from Catholic of Point-Capee was 42-22 over WCA. Gary, that one was close for a little while.
Yeah.
And then Catholic of Point-Capee must have warmed down towards the end. Point-Capee goes into the playoffs 9-1. You gotta think they want a rematch with OC.
Oh, I can guarantee that they want that rematch.
And it could happen.
It sure can.
Where would they fall in the playoffs? You have to wait till Sunday to find out. Maryville, Gate On. This one was a back and forth game all night. Maryville had the lead for majority of the game. And towards the end, Gate On, big time win for Gate On tonight. 42-34. What a game.
Yeah.
To be there and attend that one, that must have been something special to see in person.
Right. Hey, just excited for the team. They did what it had to do.
Another team that trailed almost the entire game, and then fourth quarter time, ERAF Bobcats turned it on, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Big time road win as ERAF goes into the playoffs on a hot streak. Final score, ERAF 38, Donaldsonville 32. Bobcats, last 3 weeks, have played some special football.
They have played some good ball the last 3 weeks, and they just overpowered Donaldsonville. Undoubtedly, they're not doing very well this year. Their record shows it, but ERAF they came in on fire.
Correct. And they showed it the way they finished that game. Brobridge Livonia playing for, I guess you could call pride here, Gary.
Right, I was getting ready to say the same thing. This game was really difficult for me because I kind of know a little bit about both teams, and they're both kind of struggling this year. But man, Livonia came out. I guess they defended their home field.
Defended their home field. They got a big time 27-21 victory over Brobridge. I did not see that one coming.
No, I thought I was honestly thinking it was going to be the other way around, but Livonia stepped up and said, "Not on our turf."
Next game up, both of these teams sitting on the bubble, so a win would go a long way into getting them into the playoffs. Mamu and Northwest for senior night at Raiders Stadium. Northwest, no problems tonight over the Green Devils. 36-6 victory for the Raiders. Now they will wait for their faith on Sunday.
And we'll see where they're at. Hopefully they're going to be in there and can continue their tradition of playing.
Turlings, one of the hottest teams in the state of Louisiana. Only loss of the season is a 5-point loss to St. Thomas More, which will probably be the number 1 ranked team going into the playoffs.
Right, the way it's looking.
St. Thomas More for sure. Turlings, no problems tonight over North Vermilion. That's a tough district for North Vermilion to be in.
Right.
49-21 Rebels roll tonight on senior night.
Correct. Great job at Turlings. You talk about turning the program around. If you can, they've always been good, but this year they're at the next level. It seems
taking that leap for a potential run for the state title.
right.
Next up, Gary, Ascension Episcopal trying to be outright district champs. If they can knock off Franklin tonight, Gary, they would in a big way. 41-14 for the Blue Gators. Blue Gators going into the playoffs a little hot streak. They shut out Laurelville last week and a big time win over Franklin this week. That kicker, the Georgia commit.
Didn't he have a special night tonight?
He had a big one tonight. He made a 49-yard field goal. You say that's a lot for a high school kicker. 49 yards.
He capped it, didn't he?
He capped it. 60-yarder tonight from the Georgia commit from Ascension Episcopal. Special teams does matter there.
Yes, special teams are special, and this young man has a bright future. Kicking a 60-yarder in high school, wait till he gets to college and maybe beyond.
Correct. 41-14 final. Ascension Episcopal going into the playoffs with a little confidence from those last two wins.
Right, got some momentum in there. Yeah, most definitely.
Patterson Berwick. We heard this is a little rivalry between those two schools. Both teams really wanted this win, but tonight, Patterson, with their explosive offense, led by the state's leading passer and the state's leading receiver, would go on the road and knock off Berwick 30-19.
Yeah, when you got a quarterback and receivers that are on pace with each other, that's hard to beat. Great job to Patterson.
Next up, Rain Leesville. We thought this one was going to be who would control the line of scrimmage. Both teams have talented running backs. It looks like Leesville running back stole the show tonight.
Right. It was a great ball game. Great as far as for him. Just, they showed their strength. They're, 7-2. Their record is very successful this year, and they just showed their power.
Final score, Leesville. Big time blowout win over Rain, 47-6. What a win.
That's right.
Did not expect to see that score.
No, I expected a closer ball game.
This next matchup, Acadiana Wrecking Rams versus the Barb Buccaneers.
Fear the veer. But they almost got feared.
This one was 31-14. Barb had the lead. And Barb did not close the door, Derry. They let Acadiana back into the game, and Acadiana reeled off a huge comeback tonight. Down 31-14, they win tonight. 35-31. What a win for the Wrecking Rams. Right. Big time comeback, but a scare as you go into the playoffs when you know how good those teams are in the Division I bracket.
Don't know how true this is. I heard Acadiana had some fumbles and had some issues in the first half, turnovers and stuff. And great job in the second half for them to overcome that. If that is true, hey, fear the veer. Acadiana is going to always be special to me. And I'm going to tell you, go Rams. Congratulations. Still waiting on that helmet.
Delcom Laurelville playing for playoff seedings tonight. Laurelville, big win tonight at home. They bounced back after last week's loss. Shutout last week, no problem scoring tonight. 49-16.
Right.
Laurelville now goes to 6-4 on the season.
Right. That's a great job by Laurelville. At home, defending their home turf. Hey, good job.
Rose Pine Oakdale. We say this is a good old-fashioned fist fight in the trenches. We say this is good physical football at its finest. Gary Swallow, Rose Pine won the fist fight in the trenches tonight and rolled big. Did not see that score coming, but hats off to the Eagles. I'm sure that environment was nuts. And Rose Pine gets a 42-7 victory over Oakdale. You're talking about a statement win going into the playoffs.
I didn't see this coming. I've been watching Oakdale all year. Mikey, a good friend of mine, former student, is coaching over there. And like I said, I did not see this coming. I don't know exactly what happened, but Rose Pine flexed their muscles, and they showed who they were. So congratulations to Rose Pine on a great victory.
And what can Rose Pine do into the playoffs now
Right.
with a win like that?
You're right.
Homer, Haynesville, one of the oldest rivalries in the state of Louisiana, renewed tonight at Tornado Field. Gary, you got the defending state champs coming into Haynesville, a place full of banners.
Mm-hmm.
Two good football teams battling it out in week 10. Both of them in the top 5
Right.
of the rankings. So somebody had to win, somebody had to lose, but what a game it was. Homer goes on the road and knocks off Haynesville by 1 point. What a win for Homer. 28-27. They take down Haynesville. How far will Haynesville drop in the playoff rankings? We're gonna have to find out Sunday.
I don't think it shouldn't be much, but you can never tell with this. But man, that had to have been an exciting ball game, don't you think?
I
I
agree.
mean, back and forth, whatever. Just 28-27. That tells me that there's some good things being done by both teams. Congratulations to Homer and Haynesville. Keep your head up because you're gonna be in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Abbeville Kaplan, it was the battle of the Russo Trophy, take 2.
Right.
This game was so good last year, we had to get our hands on it again this year. We could not have the Russo Trophy this year, Gary.
Right.
This game was planned out a year in advance. We got special permission from the head football coach and the administration at Kaplan that welcomed us aboard and treated us like family.
Right. Can't say thank you enough for everything that they've done for us. I mean, that's 2 years in a row they've treated us very well, and all we can say is thank you. And what a game it was.
What a game it was. We talked about last year's game a lot leading up to tonight. We're going to be talking about this year's game a lot a year from now.
You can't say anything but wow, because okay, you get the ball with 11 minutes left in the game and you drive the ball down the field and you control that clock for 10 minutes.
A 10-minute drive.
Unbelievable. And score. And then what do? What do?
You got them on their heels. You go for the win.
That's right. And that's what he did. That's what Kaplan did, Coach.
You
I
don't
will
put the
tell you.
games. You don't put the game in your young kickers'
No.
hands whenever the wind is pushing
Pushing
30
right.
30 miles per hour.
We have stories about that, and we'll probably post pictures on Facebook about our dilemma with the wind and everything. But you just had that momentum. You have the defense on their heels. That you just drove the ball down the field for 10 minutes. You go for it, and they did, and they gave it to their best player, and
And the way he played on that final drive was a senior
right.
fighting with everything he had in his system to try to go win a game with his brothers.
Right. And you know what?
The
It
will-
was awesome.
The will to get down the field on that final drive was something I've never seen before.
Right. It was amazing to watch, and I can't say anything more than that young man is well deserving of all the accolades that he's gotten this year.
Correct.
And I can't say anything about but wow. And this, let me tell you something. I watched the people playing this game. These kids know each other because they're not that far from each other, and you would watch the kids hit each other, help each other up, tap each other on the helmet, and go back to the huddles. And I mean, you saw that all night, and it was amazing the sportsmanship. But man, it was great to see the fire in their eyes all the way through the game. And it's a shame that somebody has to win, but
Someone has to lose.
someone
Someone has to win.
I'm sorry, someone has to lose, someone has to win, and the other person does. But this was a great game. Kaplan did everything that I would have done, and they were this sharp.
Let's talk about the play.
Let's do it.
Passy scores from 7 yards out. The decision was made before that touchdown was even scored. So the game is on the line, and Abbeville has leaned on their defense all season, Gary.
Right.
They leaned on them one more time, and Abbeville gets the biggest stop of the season.
By that much. And this is according to the people that was on the field.
Inches to a yard away, Abbeville keeps the Russo Trophy in Abbeville another year by a 2-point conversion stop.
Right.
Hats off to that defense for never stopping playing.
Right.
They could have folded right there. A team just drove 10 minutes on you. You could have just folded right there. But instead, they stood tall when the game was on the line and their defense made a play, and the celebration was on, Gary.
It was, and I'm gonna tell you, it was very, very exciting to see, you know, how happy those guys were. Because let me tell you something, you know, and we talked about this before. Kaplan had this trophy for how many years?
It was a while.
It was a long time, and where they never lost. Last year was the first year that Abbeville took it, and they didn't want to give it back. But when the game was over, the excitement and jubilation from those players was amazing.
It means a lot to both
You know,
communities. It means a lot to both teams.
Right.
And it means a lot to those coaches on
Right.
both sides.
And you know what? Last year it was in Kinder. I'm sorry, in Kaplan. Keep on saying Kinder. Last year it was in Kaplan. This year it was in Kaplan. Next year they're going to be playing in Abbeville.
That place should be electric.
Oh man, I know how it was over here. Guess what? It's going to be that way next year too. So we're actually penciling it in to where we could probably see that game next year too. You know, so we're going to work on that. But
Yeah, too far out in advance,
yeah.
but you never know what the future holds.
right, great job. Congratulations, Abbeville. Congratulations, Kaplan, on a great game. You know, I think it was exciting no matter what.
Abbeville has a shot to host a first-round playoff. Was tonight's win and what others did around the state enough to get them into that top 16 to host the first round? You got to be patient and wait it out.
You're right.
Kaplan gonna hit the road next week. Where would they head? I tell you what, it's not a team you would want to play if you're not used to that style of football.
Right, you're right. So if you're not used to playing that type of football, you might get surprised.
Yeah, you might get upset in the first round. Next up, district championship on the line down there at East Beauregard. And when Bazille and the Bearcats come into town, East Bow was not gonna make it easy. They wanted this one bad. It was senior night at East Beauregard, and the senior played their tails off, it looks like.
You're right.
We don't have any inside scoop of what happened down there at East Bow tonight. All we can go off of is a score. I look at this, Gary, it was 14-14, deadlocked at halftime. Bazille scores somewhere in the second half, and East Bow a chance to go tie it towards the end. What a game.
You're right.
To hold on to a 7-point lead with the district championship on the line speaks volumes of the team that Bazille has, and it speaks volumes of the team that East Bow has to make this a really competitive district championship game.
Right, you're right on that. And I'm going to tell you right now, Bazille, this little Bazille Bearcat football team is a scrappy bunch. They've been that way for a few years, and I think they're going to be in the district champs. They're going to, depending on where they're placed as far as seeding, I think they're going to make a little bit of noise.
We're either going to see Bazille in the first round next week against a really high seed, somewhere around the 28, 27, 26 range, or we will see Bazille in 2 weeks because they earned a first round bye.
Yeah, they're that close. They're that close.
Right there on the edge of a potential first round bye. And if they don't get it, they're going to be at 5 or 6.
Right, I would think, yeah.
East Bow, going into the playoffs, they could give somebody a scare in that first round.
Right, I think
Their
they
style
will.
of offense.
Right,
So, congratulations to the Basile Bearcats. 9-1, undefeated district champs. in
Right.
District play.
outright champions, that's awesome.
That is awesome. Congratulations to our friends down there at Basile. And we very well could see this team very soon in the playoffs.
Yes, most definitely.
We could be at Hanson Field or we could follow them on the road.
Yeah.
So much to talk about on Sunday. Can't wait to see the brackets come out and where both of these teams fall.
Between Sunday and Wednesday of next week, we're going to be trying to figure out a lot of things. You know?
Can anybody play on a Thursday?
That's right.
You don't normally see playoff games on a Thursday.
Yeah, that's.
But if somebody's sharing the same stadium,
That might be there.
if
but-
OHS and OC are playing a second round matchup, both at Donald Gardner Stadium,
Oof.
we might be able to get that Thursday night game.
We might. That might have a chance.
University Lab, Parkview Baptist, ladies and gentlemen. Parkview Baptist
Man.
comes in 8-1 on the season, rolling through their schedule, and they're 1 win away from a 9-1 season, but standing in their way is the defending state champs, University Lab Cubs. And ULab looked like they were pissed off tonight, Gary. They steamrolled Parkview Baptist on the road tonight. No problems at all for ULab. 35-7. ULab. Big time win before playoffs get here. Trying to go defend their crown.
That's right. And the way they're playing right now, they may well do it.
Gary, let's make it 30 quarters. The last 28 of the 30 quarters, Vermilion Catholic has not allowed a point.
That is amazing. Vermilion Catholic, 9-0, going against a Hanson Memorial team that's 8-1,
8-1, my friend.
and you're gonna go in there and shut them out.
They shut them out
Oh my God!
at Hanson Memorial tonight.
Right, and not just a little. They shut them out big.
This defense is one of the best defenses I've watched play in person this season.
Right.
The Screaming Eagles are a threat as they go into the playoffs to be reckoned with.
Right. Can you imagine 30, 20,
28 of the
28
last
of the last 30
quarters.
quarters? You know, we're not going to let you score. That's basically what they said.
Vermilion Catholic, your outright district champs. Tonight, big time road win over previous 8-1 Hanson Memorial, 49-0. How about them Screaming Eagles? The march to the dome now begins.
Right. And those Eagles are screaming. And, you know, I can't wait to see how far this team can push. If not, I'm excited, and I'm gonna predict. I predict that they may well make it to the dome and compete hard for a state championship.
They will definitely be off next week. That's
Right.
all we have
Yeah.
for clarification right now.
Yeah.
They will go into the playoffs as the number one ranked team in the state. So the road to the dome goes through Screaming Eagle Stadium.
Yes, sir.
St. Charles Newman, the rivalry that Arch Manning just can't get over. This series has been owned by St. Charles these last few years, and it looks like St. Charles gets another one from Arch on this one. Newman Greenies fall at home tonight, home senior night, over St. Charles, 17-13. Boy, they have their number.
That's right. And, you know, like I said, you know, St. Charles, I mean, they're the defending champions.
Correct.
And Newman wants to be the champion, so you gotta go and go through them. Like I said, to be the champ, you gotta beat the champ. And so far, I think St. Charles is saying, no, you're not going to beat me today. So I think St. Charles is, going to be a tough team in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
that's going to be great to watch.
How about our buddy Troy down there at St. James? Big time game with E.D. White tonight for the district title. Both teams coming in 8-1 of the season.
Right.
E.D. White would have a huge night at home, beating St. James 49-26. Stop sleeping on E.D. White, Gary Swallow.
I never have, man. They're one of my favorite teams to watch right now. They're tough, and you better not take them lightly.
E.D. White making a statement before they go into the playoffs tonight.
Correct.
District champs, E.D. White.
Correct.
Previous unbeatens meeting in Plaquemine, Louisiana tonight at Green Demon Stadium.
Right.
West Feliciana 9-0, Plaquemine 9-0. District championship on the line, and also a first round bye on the line tonight. Final score: West Feliciana 43, Plaquemine 22. It looks like the old West Feliciana that we
They're
saw in the dome a few years ago.
They're back. They look like they're back, and they're playing some good ball. So
10-0, West Feliciana headed into the playoffs, one of the hottest teams around.
yes, sir. Look out.
Next up, 8-0 Carroll, 8-1 Union Parish for the district title. Gary Swallow. Trey Holly on senior night went crazy.
Sure did.
230 on the ground, 3 touchdowns, and Trey Holly and that Union Parish former football team bring the district title home, and they are getting set to try to go win a state title.
Trey Holly, every yard he gets adds to his record that he already owns. It is amazing to see what this young man is going to. He's going to have a record that cannot be touched by the time he finishes his senior year, which is this year. And it's amazing. Union Parish was clicking on all cylinders. Great job. Carroll going through a lot of stuff right now, but Union Parish is rolling.
3 of the top 5 teams in Division II lost tonight.
Right?
Major shakeups coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Welsh Greyhounds and the Notre Dame Pios. We said Welsh was back, Gary, but could they get through the Pios tonight? Gary, Notre Dame, big time night at Crowley, Louisiana tonight. Pios roll over Welsh 56-28. Notre Dame goes into the playoffs 8-2. Notre Dame looks like they might be back in championship form.
They're playing really good right now. I didn't see this. It didn't surprise me that Notre Dame won. It surprised me the difference of the score.
Correct.
That's what really got me, because I'll be honest with you, I threw this. I thought Welsh was back. They were hitting on all cylinders. Notre Dame lost a couple games. I didn't think that Notre Dame was going to overpower Welsh like they did. I mean, that's a good spread, and I thought it might have been a touchdown or less ball game.
I agree.
But man, they sure proved us wrong. And Notre Dame is rolling right now. So look out. If you're going to face the Pios in the playoffs, look out,
You
guys.
better bring your A game.
That's right.
Gary Swallow, 23 seniors from Iota High School on senior night had one goal in mind.
Yes.
And Gary Swallow, they went and got it done. Goal accomplished.
Right. I didn't see this coming, and like I said, this was another game that we talked about. It's not that they won the game, it's how they won the game and by the margin that they did. I could have seen it going either way, but I didn't expect it to be one-sided like this.
They said Iota played like their hair was on fire tonight.
Right.
Church Point, some costly turnovers in that game. And when you get down to big time football late in the season, turnovers could come back and hurt you in a big time football game.
Well, we were watching it on the way back. We were kind of watching the recap of it, and they showed Church Point driving, then all of a sudden, getting hit and the ball flying out, and touchback and all different things. When you turn the ball over and don't get points, that's killing you. So, I know Coach Arsenault is gonna come back with this and kind of fix everything on that, but that was a very big win for Iota.
Congratulations to Iota Bulldogs. After 3 years of Church Point running the district, to be the champs, you gotta beat the champs, and tonight they beat the champs. Congratulations, Iota Bulldogs. You're district champions. They're gonna go into the playoffs 8-2, Gary.
Correct.
They have reeled off an 8-game win streak after their first 2 losses of the season.
Correct.
Final score, Iota 44, Church Point 28. Cam was sitting on side of us the other night for the Wednesday night show. I bet he is
he's glowing right
now. Next up, Gary, LCA and St. Thomas More. If LCA wins, it's a 3-way split. St. Thomas More at Cougar Stadium could wrap up the district title tonight and be outright district champs. It would not come easy, as LCA would give them all they could hope for, but at the end of the day, the Cougars from St. Thomas More still on top. Final score, STM 41, LCA 34. What a game.
Right. STM is still up there. They're still, they're still the kings of the division. LCA moved up, and they've kind of rattled some cages, but STM is still the king. So that's congratulations to STM. Congratulations to LCA on a great year as far as rattling up the district. You're in the playoffs.
Don't count out a rematch between those two.
Yeah, don't ever count out LCA, because I'm gonna tell you that they're tough and they can come back, and if they meet again in the playoffs, it might go another way. You can't ever tell. But for tonight, STM was the champion.
And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Edna Core proved they're the best team in the state of Louisiana.
The University of Edna Core, Mr. Taylor.
The University of Edna Core hit on all cylinders tonight, and that's going to be a scary team to play in the playoffs as they go down to they played at Tulane. They go and play John Curtis, an 8-1 John Curtis football team that has been beating teams leading up to this point where it just shocked you that they're winning the way they've been winning. But tonight, Edna Core doing Edna Core things.
They flex their muscles, Mr. Jordy.
Edna Core band trying to get back to the big dance to perform at halftime, and we're trying to see that entrance before the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Edna Core 38, John Curtis 6. John Curtis falls to 8-2 in the season, and Edna Core moves to 7-3 on the season.
Isn't that awesome?
Should be 10-0.
Should be. Didn't we have 3 games that they had to forfeit?
Yes.
So they were 0-3 and then they came back and won 7 in a row.
7 in a row.
Watch it, dude. They are on a mission, and I wouldn't want to be in their path.
Correct.
Oh my God.
West Monroe, Ruston. Ruston, 33 game losing streak was on the line tonight. They have not beat West Monroe since 1990. Would the streak end tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, it would. How about them Bearcats from Ruston High School? Gary, middle of the season, we said they're going to be in the dome. Well,
Right.
with wins like tonight, they prove they are contenders
May
in
well
this
happen.
Division I bracket.
May well happen. Look out. Whoever plays Ruston will have to be on their A game, and I promise you they better bring it.
They better bring it for sure. Congratulations to Ruston. 35-17, you're the district champs, and you finally beat Big Brother
Correct.
after all those years.
And you can't say nothing but wow. Congratulations.
Yes. Some more scores of interest around the state. Scotlandville knocks off Woodlawn 28-24. Lakeshore knocks off Franklinton 21-18. Kinder Discovery knocks off Riverdale 20-17. St. Aug knocks off Brother Morton 14-13.
Wow, that must have been a good game.
Yes. Might have had similar outcomes.
Right,
There
yeah,
have been.
right.
Rayville knocks off Faraday 20-18. Benton knocks off Parkway 28-24. Northwood Shreveport knocks off North DeSoto 20-19. That's an
Wow, that is a big upset there,
Yes,
Jordy.
North
I
DeSoto
didn't
was ranked-
hear that one.
upset. North DeSoto was ranked 2
Right.
in the playoffs this week.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, LB Landry knocks off Bell Chase in overtime 20-17.
Oh, jeez.
Mansfield knocks off Red River in overtime 32-30.
Oh, that must.
And one more score of interest tonight. Lakeside knocks off Green Oaks 42-36 in double overtime.
Oh my God, that's some exciting ball games there, Mr. Jordy.
So that is your look at scores of interest from around the state. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, as we close the door on week 10, it is time to give out helmet stickers,
Right.
talk about games of the nights, upsets of the night, and UTL statement wins of the night. We start off with upsets of the night, Mr. Swallow.
Upsets of the night. Well, I only have 3, and I know there's more. I got 3. I got Ville Platte over Oberlin, Livonia over Breaux Bridge, and ULab, even though they're as good as they're defending champ, over Parkview.
Okay.
I got those. And there's a few others that were close that could be considered upsets, but those are the ones that caught my attention.
Upsets of the night coming from myself. Ville Platte over Oberlin. South Beauregard over Westlake. Livonia over Breaux Bridge. And Nish over Lafayette earns upsets of the night. Gary Swallow, how about games of the night?
Oh, games of the night. Man, I got some Thursdays in there too, but my games of the night are E.D. White over St. James. I think that was a close game. Iota over Church Point. Catholic of Baton Rouge over Zachary. And the University of Edna Karr over John Curtis.
Okay. Games of the night from myself. Homer over Haynesville squeaks out a 1-point victory on the road, earns game of the night. Abbeville over Kaplan earns game of the night, a 2-point conversion stand when the game's on the line, earns game of the night. Basile over East Beauregard, district championship game that lived up to the hype, earns game of the night. St. Charles over Newman, 4-point win for the Comets in that contest, earns game of the night. And Catholic of Baton Rouge, a walk-off field goal to knock off the Broncos at Broncos Stadium at Zachary Falls, 24-21. That earns game of the night caliber. Gary, how about UTL statement wins of the night?
Statement wins, and this is basically flexing their muscles and stuff. I'm gonna start off with the Southside Sharks. Southside, they made a statement, all year, but I think that this win propels them into the playoffs. Opelousas Catholic, dominating their district, doing what they had to do. I consider that to be their game, to be a statement win. Iota, that win against Church Point, and last but not least for me is St. Thomas More. They pretty much stated that they're still the king of the district.
Correct.
So that's my statement wins there.
Statement wins of the night from myself. Etna Carr over John Curtis. It was a blowout, dominating win over a previous 8-1 football team.
Gotta agree.
That earns UTL statement win of the night. Iota over Church Point, when not many people in the state of Louisiana have given Iota a chance, they go and make a statement in week
Right.
10. They earn UTL statement win of the night. Ruston over West Monroe, big time statement win. Little brother is here. 1990, a long time ago, but the Ruston Bearcats get it done tonight. West Feliciana over Plaquemine. Both of those teams were 9-0, and this game was not even close. West Feliciana flexes their muscles tonight, make a statement as they go into the playoffs, saying no one wants to play us right now. Their perfect 10-0 season as they head into the playoffs. And the last statement win of the night goes to Union Parish, and the way Trey Holly went out on senior night tonight. Union Parish over Carroll. That's a statement win for the Farmers.
Most definitely. I can't say anything but I agree with you on all of that. That is awesome.
Helmet stickers time, Gary. Who earned Under the Lights helmet stickers for week 10?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I got 4, and I think Abbeville, 2 years in a row, Rousseau Trophy.
Okay.
2 are outstanding ball games. OHS statement helmet stickers for the entire team. Awesome performance tonight, dominating. But they've put their team came together and they've made a statement that they're the best team in the state right now. Basile, great team win for them to come in. So my helmet stickers for them. And my last helmet sticker, it goes to my alma mater and your alma mater, the Port Barre Red Devils, for getting their first win of the year on the last game of the year for their seniors to go out with a win on their resume. So that's my helmet stickers.
Port Barre also gets my helmet sticker. A week 10 win for the Red Devils. They can get that monkey off their back. They can go into the off season with some smiles.
Right.
It's not the season they wanted, but it's always nice to send the seniors off the right way.
Right.
Iota knocking off Church Point tonight, earns helmet sticker. Church Point has dominated this district for the last 30 years. Iota finally knocks them off.
Right.
Basile earns helmet sticker number 3 tonight. District championship hard-fought game, and they get it done and bring it back for an outright district title. Helmet sticker goes to Basile. Number 4, helmet sticker goes to that Abbeville defense, Gary. The way they played tonight, Abbeville earns helmet sticker tonight.
Right.
And your last helmet sticker, we talked about Rustin a lot tonight, but well-deserved helmet sticker for the Bearcats.
Right.
And that is my look at helmet stickers, game of the nights, upsets of the night, and UTL statement wins of the night.
Right. Can't argue with any of those, Jordy. That was, yeah, this was, man, week 10 seemed to be the best of all of them. And it just keeps getting better and better and better.
Yes.
And now we're playoff bound.
Week 11 is here.
Man, isn't that awesome?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in with us for the late night edition of the Recap Show. Gary Swallow, take us into week 11 with your final thoughts of week 10.
Man, my final thoughts of week 10 is week 10 was actually, to me, one of the best weeks of the whole year. They had implications of playoffs, they had upsets, they had everything you wanted in high school football. The most important thing that I want to say about week 10 is for all of the teams that made the playoffs, that are going to make it, we're going to find out Sunday. Congratulations. All the teams that did not get into the playoffs, all of the teams that are not going to be playing ball anymore, cherish these moments that you've had this year and remember it, especially you seniors. The brotherhood is going to always be there. You're going to always be part of a great family. Always remember that and enjoy it and take pride in everything that you've done.
Yeah. As we close the door on week 10, ladies and gentlemen, we open the next page of this Under the Lights chapter as the playoffs are here. The best time of the season has officially made it to Louisiana. Will the cold weather make it to Louisiana, or will we see one of our hotter playoffs we've had in recent memory, Mr. Swallow? We talk about it Sunday, live from the studio here in Opelousas, Louisiana. We bring the crew together. We bring some special guests together. We break down the playoffs. Where did the locals fall? Who's number one? Who's got a first round bye? Who is going to make a push for the state title game? You don't want to miss that bracket reveal. Find out a lot moving forward. Where we're going next Friday night, to be determined.
We don't know.
Have no idea as of right now. We cannot make those decisions until we see the names printed on those brackets. Seniors, you played your final down tonight. Congratulations of getting to play this great game of high school football. Seniors, if you're still playing and got another week, leave no doubt, go win a state title now.
That's right. Set forward. Go.
Who's going to make it to Thanksgiving week? Who's going to be playing in the big dance? We can't wait for these next 5 weeks. Close the door on week 10. Welcome week 11. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying up late with us. From myself, Mr. Gary Swallow, we say good night and congratulations to all the district champs around the state of Louisiana, and congratulations to the teams that are playoff bound, baby.
That's right.
Good night, and we'll see you Sunday.